World back at it once again it's been a little while, but back at it once again. Instant Classic 8. I know I said I was supposed to make more videos, and I'm still working on that, but I told myself I will make a new video by the end of this weekend. I don't know what it's going to be about, but it's going to be about something. It was either going to be about the Strike Force show that I watched yesterday, which was Miesha Tate versus Ronda Rousey. I was marking out way too much during that show and just couldn't put everything together, so I want to hold back on that. But ROH 10th anniversary, or Young Wolves Rising as they like to call it. Their internet pay-per-view was today, just in it, maybe about 15 minutes ago. I was actually on the fence about ordering this show. I didn't order the show till about 40 minutes before it took place. It wasn't that I didn't want to see it, but there was no hype behind it. I really wasn't excited. I mean, they've been hyping it up a little bit on TV. I'm actually more excited about the two shows in Miami that happened at the end of this month, which I'll be attending live. Can't wait for that. But, all day on Twitter, all the people's like, you can't miss the show, you can't miss the show. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe some really good stuff is going to happen. And actually it did. So I'm definitely glad I ordered this show. I would recommend getting the replay. The best thing about the show is only $10. I mean, you can't beat that for a 3-hour ROH pay-per-view. You cannot beat that at all. I'm going to run down the matches, tell you what I think about it. The show opened up with All Night Express, Kenny King and Rhett Titus, the returning Rhett Titus from injury, taking on Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, wrestling's greatest tag team. I thought this was a decent opener. I've seen better from both of these teams. It didn't go too long, but it was still a decent match. Obviously, the world's greatest tag team, if you haven't seen these shows recently, they just gone full heel. New York hated the crowd, and a lot of people have gotten tired of World's Greatest Tag Team since they've gotten into Ring of Honor. I mean, it was cool when they were taking on Kings of Wrestling, when they first came in and the style was just like, oh, these guys are here. And then, last year's WrestleMania show when they beat Kings of Wrestling for the titles, it was a really cool scene and something really nice to see. But now the act has just gotten old, and, people don't really want to see these guys anymore. Personally, I'd rather see Shelton get a few singles matches. Not to say that I just want to see him full-blown singles wrestler, but I just want to see him in a few matches, by himself. Even though we have, I just want to see him in more. But the match, like I said, it was okay. With this show was being in Manhattan at the Hammerstein Ballroom. New York City, they're always a really good crowd. Tonight they were doing the Daniel Bryan yes chant, when he comes down the ramp and screaming yes and everything. They were doing that all night, and I actually found that to be hilarious. But the one thing about the New York crowd, I mean, it's pretty much any wrestling crowd, but especially New York, they're always looking for the negatives. As soon as someone botches, they always, saying you fucked up, and I don't know. It's not, we watch Ring of Honor to get something really nice out of wrestling. We're not looking for that, so it got a little bit annoying. But like I said, the match was good. ANX actually ended up getting the victory. The one thing I can say, and I'm not one who can talk, but with Rhett Titus just coming off of injury, you could see that he was a little bit sluggish. He was a little out of shape as well, and I'm pretty sure he'll tighten it up pretty soon. But something I noticed. But like I said, still a decent match. Good opener for the crowd. The next match was, I believe, I could be going out of order, but I believe it was the special attraction match, which was Mike Bennett versus Homicide. I know a lot of people don't like Mike Bennett. I think he's alright. Homicide, I don't care for him anymore. It's just, he's just another guy. In this match, it was just a match. There's nothing really going on. Mike Bennett ended up getting the victory. I think he got a victory off a roll-up. The best thing about this match was, with this being ROH's 10th anniversary show, Homicide was, I don't want to say paying respect, but he was just, big ups, shout-outs, if you will, to former ROH wrestlers, mainly like Samoa Joe, when Joe does his little powerbomb pin into the STF. He did that. He also gave Mike Bennett the GTS, salute to Punk. So it was really nice. But Mike Bennett ended up getting the victory. I think he got it with a roll-up. Nothing to write home about, honestly. Another special attraction match. It was who was it? Yeah, Amazing Red and T.J. Perkins versus the House of Truth, which is Michael Elgin and Roderick Strong. I thought this match was a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, if you've seen the House of Truth, Elgin and Strong wrestle together. They're a great tag team. I love both of them. You got, you know, Roderick Strong, who of course he still has his backbreakers and his kicks and everything, but the power and beast and Michael Elgin, he's just so awesome. And you know, these two guys going up against the two smaller guys, you know, Amazing Red coming in here and then T.J. Perkins. It's made for a really fun match. One of my favorites of the night for sure. I hope that they decide to bring Amazing Red in so they can do Red and Perkins as a tag team full time. I think that would be awesome for the tag team division. But really good match. After that, I believe we had a segment. It was Kevin Kelly doing an interview with Eddie Kingston. Obviously, if you don't know, Chikara and ROH, they're doing a partnership. They're doing this big super show in Chicago, I believe in April. And, you know, Eddie Kingston being the grand champion of Chikara came in there, was doing an interview. He was, you know, started talking and saying, you know, I got to see my guys in the back and everything. And, you know, I came across Davey Richards and he was about to, you know, go into it. And then, well, we thought was going to be Davey Richards. You heard the howl of the American Wolves theme music, but actually Kevin Steen comes out. And, you know, Kevin Steen was like, yeah, you know, you used to be my guy. We used to be cool, but you turned into a bitch. And then he just started, you know, and Kingston was cool. You know, everyone knows that Kingston, he goes crazy, but he was cool when he said that. But as soon as Kevin Steen started dissing Chikara, he just went off. That is like Eddie Kingston, it is. And then this big brawl broke out, and they were fighting all over the place. Security, everyone's trying to break it up. Then the Colony comes out to help Kingston. It was just a big brawl. I can't wait to see what they do with this. Hopefully they do some interaction down in Miami. I think that would be a lot of fun. But I'm definitely looking forward to the whole Chikara ROH partnership, seeing what they do with it. You know, cross branding between both shows. Excuse me, both promotions. I think that'll be really good. After that, we went into the I was about to say the U.S. title, the ROH TV title. Jay Lethal defending against Tommaso Ciampa. Before the match, they was just, you know, pinning in there. This is a 15-minute time limit, which makes no sense because they did a 15-minute time limit with the Proving Ground match, and I don't know, but that's what they said. You know, 15-minute time limit, and they kept drilling it in there. They kept mentioning over the commentary that, you know, you have 8 minutes left, you have 7 minutes. When announcers do that, you can clearly tell they're going to go to a time limit draw. They did the same crap back in 2009 with Tyler Black and Austin Aries. But anyway, it was a really good match. I actually saw these two have a really good match down in Norfolk, Virginia. I went down there for the ROH show back in January, and they had a really good match. This one, I didn't feel it was as good, but it was still a really good match. They did go to the time limit draw. After the match, Tommaso Ciampa just started destroying Jay Lethal, and he actually took the belt and took it back with him. He didn't win the belt, but he took the belt with him, so we'll see where they go with that. Had intermission. After intermission came back, you had the Briscoes defending the titles against the Young Bucks. Really fun match. I enjoyed both of these teams, the way they work together. I believe the last time I saw them wrestle, I don't think they wrestled in PWG. I can't remember, but definitely in ROH it was the Glory by Honor 8, I believe, back in 2009. They had a really good match tonight. Really enjoyable. Briscoes ended up winning with the Doomsday Device. Still the champions. I think they're defending their titles against the World's Greatest Tag Team down in Miami. So we'll see what they do with that. After that, we went on to a no DQ match. Jimmy Jacobs against Kevin Steen. As you would expect, brutal stuff. Kind of a vintage Age to the Fall thing going on with Jimmy Jacobs when he brought the coat out. If you all can remember back for 2007 and Man Up, after the Briscoes won their match, you know, Age of the Fall hung Jay Briscoe from the ceiling with the blood dripping down on Jimmy Jacobs. He actually wore that coat. But like I said, just brutal stuff. There was a crazy, if you remember the spot from WrestleMania 22, it wasn't no fire in this one, but when Edge speared Mick Foley through the table, they did that spot with these two guys just through the table. It was nuts. The end, if you remember the whole Age of the Fall story gimmick, or just Jimmy Jacobs, you know, in general, he had this whole thing where he used to carry a spike around. He tried to use that. We actually did use that against Kevin Steen right to the forehead, and he was just gushing everywhere. Kevin Steen actually ended up getting it, stabbed him. I don't know if he stabbed him in the stomach or in the groin, but he definitely took him out. Kevin Steen, because they banned the package power driver, his new finisher is doing an F5. So he actually had two folding chairs set up with the backs of each other. He did an F5 to Jimmy Jacobs onto the chairs. It looked horrible. Kevin Steen ended up winning. After that, we had the main event. The main event is something that people were kind of lacking of. I don't know if you guys are into ROH right now, but the big thing is a lot of people. I mean, wrestling fans. This is just a general rule. When someone's going for the title, they're really rooting for them. Yeah. As soon as they get it, they just turn their backs and they hate them. That's basically what's going on with David Richards. No one really likes David Richards. I mean, I still, I like where he wrestles, but people having a problem with it. It's whatever. David Richards and Kyle O'Reilly versus Eddie Edwards and Adam Cole. This match was great. I mean, this was really good stuff. They started off with a bunch of mat wrestling, and then they just went balls to the wall. I mean, if you've seen any of these guys wrestle, obviously, people have seen Future Shock wrestle. You've seen the American Wolves wrestle. You've seen these guys do singles matches. It was all of that plus more. The ending came with, I believe Adam Cole hit David Richards with a cross body block off the top rope, and he ended up getting a pin, and I didn't see that coming for sure, so I was definitely excited for that. This was an awesome match. You should definitely go out your way to check it out. After that, Kevin Steen comes out, interrupts David Richards' promo, basically saying, coming for the title. He actually used The Rock's gimmick. When The Rock is on Raw, he's basically saying, Cena's lady parts trending worldwide or whatever like that. He called David Richards a jiu-jitsu bitch. Oh, excuse me, a jiu-jitsu jack-off is what he called him. And he did the whole trending worldwide thing, which was really fun. The way it ended the show great. Definitely got me excited for the two WrestleMania shows, which honestly I wasn't. I'm more excited about WrestleMania, which I'll get into that in a future video, hopefully soon. But now I'm definitely excited for those Mania shows. I mean, you're going to have a triple threat match with David Richards, Eddie Edwards, and Roderick Strong for the title. I know that ANX are taking on the Young Bucks, I think both nights. Like I said, World's Greatest Tag Team and the Briscoes. I think Kevin Steen and Eddie Edwards are having a match. Kevin Steen and El Generico. There's just a lot of good stuff going on. So can't wait for that. But definitely with this, like I said, $10. Definitely, it's worth it. Check it out. Till then, I am Mr. Classic 8. Peace.